Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Sunday, January the 20th, 2013, and here is this week's weekend review brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start by taking a look to see how the key indices and sectors closed the week out here. We had the NASDAQ was up 0.55% here. The Russell 2000 was up 1.44%. The Dow Jones was up 1.05% here. The S&P 500 was up 1.04%. Crude oil was up 1.79%. The oil drillers, the OIH, was up 4.34%. Transports were up 1.69%. Gold GLD was up 0.96%. Silver SLV was up 2.56%. And last but not least, the financials, they were up 0.53%. So we did get that breakout in crude oil that we were looking for. We'll take a look at those charts here shortly. OIH moved up considerably because of that. Some strength in silver. We didn't mention the fact that silver was trading stronger than gold. You can see that here. Financials didn't have a big breakout, but they've been in on a run here, so maybe just taking a break this week as we see some money start to flow in to the energy sector, which is something that we've been mentioning here at WallStreetTrading.com. So let's go and take a look at the charts here. Starting off with the SPY monthly chart, you can see here that for the past 5 months or so, we've been getting consecutive closes above this 140 level here on the SPY. And then so far for the past 2 months, we have made consecutive higher closes. And if we close up here this month, we'll be getting a nice close above this little range that we've been in here, which will be pretty interesting and most likely give us some juice for a next leg up. Taking a look at the monthly chart of the SPY, the next resistance level is not until this 153 level, which comes from these November highs of 2007. You can already see that we're trading above the January bear market sell-off year, those highs right there. Okay, and if we can continue to hold above this 148.5 level, we're going to be looking for a move up towards 153. And then support is right here at 145. And we break below 145, we have some decent support on 140. All right, it's just on the monthly time frame. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart to break everything a little bit into more perspective here. And you can see here that the SPY weekly chart above all the moving averages starting to curve up a little bit there. Some nice action. You can see the high that we made back here in September is 148.11, and we closed at 148.33 here. So next resistance level I have in my book is around here towards 150.5. Call it 152. Obviously 150 is going to act as some resistance as well. Let's take a look at the for support we're looking at is this week's low around 146. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart is getting some nice consecutive closes. 2 consecutive higher closes above this little consolidation range that we had right here and above our key 147.20 level. That looks pretty good. So support, you want to watch this 147.20 level here, and then if we can take out Friday's highs and hold above it, which was this 148.49, call it 148.5, we'll be looking for a move towards 149 and 151.5 there, 152 area. All right, that's how the SPY is looking. Let's take a look at the triple Qs. All right, the triple Qs. And one thing that I wanted to show you guys as well, we called the market for a breakout. And I believe I told you guys it's based on the fact that we were trading inside my proprietary channel analysis here with all these nice little shakeouts right here, giving us some clue that there were definitely dip buys in the market. We got the breakout on Thursday, continuation on Friday, and everything's looking pretty good here. If you take a look at this measured move from this low to this high, the bull flag pattern, I mean, you're looking at a low of 1446. And you're looking at a high here of, what level is this? 1446 and 1471. So about 20 something points here. So if we take a look, we add that 20 plus points to this 1470 level, that will take us up towards 1470 plus 20 points and some change will take us maybe up towards that 1495 area on the ES, close to that 1500 level. So I do believe we have some more upside. Obviously, it's been a stock picker's market. You have to be in the right stocks. The market's been chugging along here, grinding higher, and some stocks have been acting as momentum trades, and some stocks have just been moving up slowly. So you really got to be able to gauge the stock that you're trading and know what lane it's in, basically. So let's take a look at the triple Q's monthly chart here. We still remain in this nice little upward channel. We've been holding that 65 level as well. You can see we've been hanging above that 65 level for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 weeks or so here. If I zoom this chart a little bit out here on the monthly, you can see that as long as we can continue to hold above the 65 level, we should be making our way back up towards those 70s. Take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart, guess what we have here, guys? We have this little low from the breakout of the range. The back test had that. We had that low right there. We had this higher base. We rallied up. We back tested this key trend line that we've been mentioning in the videos during the weekend reviews. Back tested that. That comes into support around the 62 level as well. Rallied up, came back, put a higher low in against the 64. So we do have these little consecutive higher lows here. And we put a higher high right here. So now if we were to continue going higher, we should see the Qs go back up towards the 70 level, which is only 3 points away. Except we're going to need a catalyst for that, and we'll find out. We do have a lot of earnings coming out in the tech sector next week, so it's going to be a pretty interesting week. But as far as levels goes, you want to watch this key 64 level, watch this key 66 level here, as we have this big expansion bar right here on the weekly time frame, and these two little consolidation bars in the upper third range of this expansion candle. So keep an eye on this. This is kind of like a bull flag setting up on the weekly time frame of the Qs. Okay. Let's take a look now at the daily chart here. Daily chart, we still remain in that little range that we've been mentioning here from the gap up from the start of the year between the 66.22 level, call it 66, and the 67.38 level. All right, call it I would say 67.50 or so. But we gotta break above this range and hold, or break below this range and hold if you expect that we're going to sell off. We do have a lot of moving average support right here on the 66.22 level. However, we do have a gap fill as well all the way down here at 65.15. So if we were to break below 66.22, I would expect us to get some gap fill action. However, if we were to continue to consolidate and these moving averages catch up, I would expect us to break above the 67.38 and trade higher. Remember, this little area right here is overhead supply. You can see from this little consolidation right here, from this action right here, from this action right here. So all this area right here, this little red shaded area that I have here, is supply. So if we can break above 67.38, we can start chomping through the supply. Overhead supply, and we'll be making our way back up towards 68, 64, 69. So we'll see. We need some more time right here, but this is definitely giving us a nice momentum trade pretty soon. So we have a nice couple of days back to back of the same directional move here, whether it be to the top side above 67.38 or to the downside. All right, so let's take a look at the IWM next. Small caps, they have been the leading index here. Monthly chart looks great, making new all-time highs, of course. Finally hanging above this 85. Finally hanging above this 86.75 level, call it 87. All right, take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing here. Hanging above this 86 level. Moving averages curving up. Volume has been pretty low here this past 2 weeks compared to the big expansion candle that we had, so you got to be careful with that. But the trend is higher. All right, and the daily chart here, you can see 87.75 is the key level. All right, and one thing you could do as well is one thing that I'm actually going to do as well for myself is I'm actually going to draw this little trend line from the gap low and connect it right here. Draw you a parallel channel, and that would be right there. And you can see we may be trying to do like a nice little acceleration move here since we're trying to break the top of that channel. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at the dollar futures here. Dollar futures have been setting up pretty weak here. We got a nice little pop on Friday though. This was looking like a bear flag off this little sell-off right here, but this thing has been trading kind of crazy. All right, you got your little sideways action, your down move. This could still be a bear flag. We will have to break back below an 80 level though, and have this be like a little shakeout, bull shakeout right there. All right, that moves back to the downside. So we'll see. This is setting up right here. Let's take a look at the euro, which we have been calling out pretty much to the T, using some of our proprietary channel analysis and some of our proprietary methods here that I do. To bring up the 2-year daily chart real quick so I can fix up my trend lines here. And you can see the same scenario. All right, we got that nice little breakout of the range here. All right, and now we're kind of consolidating right here in between this little range. So however you want to do it, you could do it like this, but based on my channels, they're kind of it's kind of at an angle. Same way this was kind of at an angle right here. So we'll see how this sets up. Euro's still looking pretty bullish here above all these key levels. So I still think the euro goes higher and the dollar sells off. We'll see how that sets up. Let's take a look at the commodities. So I want to start off with taking a look at gold, using the gold futures. We still remain above that key 1650 level that I've been mentioning here. Let me actually get rid of this little downward bullish channel that played out. Get rid of that. So you can see here the next level of resistance on gold is up here towards 1700. We get back above 1700, say hello to 1720, 1740. Take a look at the weekly chart. You can see the weekly chart still looking pretty good. Have a nice little downward channel in play here. Not to mention the fact that we're on top of all this support. So we have a nice little downward channel break play on the weekly, as you can see here, on top of this support area right here. So this is a nice compression pattern forming in gold pretty soon. Going to be watching gold. If gold gets back above 1700, I think we see a nice move to the top side in gold. And we'll be taking a look at a couple stock charts to see how we can play that. Monthly time frame still pretty much sideways. You can see nothing there. Now, I know a lot of you guys at the house, a lot of you retail traders, some of you traders that like to get a look at gold via the ETFs, watch the GLD. GLD looks pretty interesting. It did break that kind of little downward channel action that it had in play right here. If you connect this high, a little pivot areas right here, you kind of see a lot of this little action just staying inside of this little channel right here. All right, I know it's kind of sloppy, but that's how the pattern is. This thing gaps around a lot. And then you can see we got a breakout on Thursday, pause day on Friday. Look for gold. Going to trigger another buy if it gets back over 164 for a move back to the top side. All right, let's take a look at the 60-minute chart real quick. Yes, this is pulling back. Want to be watching around this 162 to see if it holds this area. Anyways, daily chart, you can see the same thing on the weekly time frame for the GLD, just like the GC futures. You have a nice little downward channel that's setting up in play right here. So we'll see how that sets up. Quick look at silver, because silver has been acting stronger than gold. SLV, quick look at silver. Silver held that 29 level down there that we kept on mentioning. Okay, watch it, hold the 29. It's holding the 29. It's holding the 29. And now you can see silver is starting to have like a nice little momentum, slow grind higher into it there. So we'll see how that plays out. Take a look at the weekly time frame. You can see silver is not really going to get jumping until we start hanging above 34. And then you take a look at the monthly time frame. You have a little inside month of last month. All right, so silver looks pretty interesting. One stock that I like in the silver sector is this SLW. SLW is pushing up against this key trend line. If we can hang above this trend line and break out this little level right here, you can see we've been in range here. This thing can make a nice little move off these lows for a move up towards 38, 38.50. So keep this one on watch if silver gets strong. As far as the gold miner goes, take a look at GDX. GDX still holding below that key trend line that I told you guys we have to watch, because this is kind of setting up based on my analysis for a nice little compression pattern. For a nice little compression pattern here. And if we continue to remain below this trend line and we continue to come back down towards these 44 levels here, I'm going to be looking for this thing to possibly try to get a nice little compression breakdown. But if we get a break above and we start holding, we're going to be looking for a nice fast move to the top side. So we'll keep you guys up to date with that. Take a look at the weekly chart of the GDX. Still in a nice little downtrend here. Trying to hold this 44 area, looks like support. As we'll see, the short-term support at the moment. And then the monthly time frame still basically trading this nice little range here between after breaking down at this little range right here, getting the pack test right here on the monthly, we could come back down to the support if the GDX wants to sell off more down towards 40, which would take us down to these little double bottom lows or triple bottom lows, whatever you want to call it down there. All right. What else here? All right, so that's the GDX. Take a look at copper. Copper's hanging in there. It has this nice little downward channel to play. I'm actually going to take that out right now. Since we just keep on grinding above it a couple of times here, I'm actually going to take these trend lines out. They're getting retired. And maybe draw some new ones in right here. You guys can see that this is giving me possibly a nice little bullish channel right here. Draw that in for you guys so you guys can see how it's done. A line right there. Duplicate bottom channel. So we have a nice little channel action going off here off this up move, sideways consolidation. Over 370 could trigger this thing back up towards $3.75. We'll see how that plays out. FCX is a stock that you could trade if copper's strong. But FCX, after doing the deal with those energy companies and gapping up, this thing looks to be rolling over. They have earnings coming out on Monday. This is going to be interesting. I will definitely be trading this on Monday. And in my opinion, it's probably going to roll over. We'll see how it trades out. We'll see. It's before the market opens, so it's going to definitely have some pre-market action in it, and it's going to have some action when the market opens during the bell. SCCO is a stronger copper stock. If you're looking for a strong copper stock, you may want to take a look at SCCO. Looks like they pay a 20. Looks like they pay a dividend. Yeah, looks like they pay a nice little dividend on a monthly, on a, see, on a 3-month quarterly basis here. All right, 24 cents. This one says $2.75. What's this about here? $2.75 dividend. They must have did a one-time dividend thing. So we'll see. Anyway, copper, Southern Copper looks pretty good. Let's see. Take a look at some of the key sectors. XLF, the financials, hanging up there. Grinding on these moving averages, short term. Weekly chart still in this nice little upward channel here, looking pretty good. Monthly time frame, trying to break above the 1693 levels. These financials could do definitely have some more upside potential. Take a look at the semiconductor index, the stocks. You can see we broke through all this supply right here. All right, we chomped through all this little overhead supply, and now if we can continue to hold above this 408 level on the semiconductor sector on the stocks, you can see this thing take off and maybe head up towards this little gap fill area that it has all the way up here towards 430, 427 area on the semiconductor sector. Now, I know some of you guys watch the SMH. SMH doesn't look as clean as the semis, but you see the SMH had a nice expansion bar, gap down, little pause day on Friday. You could thank Intel for that, as Intel had crappy earnings. Held the 21 bid though for the whole session there. You could take a look at CLAC. CLAC is one of the stronger semiconductor stocks out there. They had a nice little pop on. Thursday. It maybe looked like some institution covering the shorts or something like that. I'm not sure if any news came out. Could have been news related. I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to take a look. But they have earnings coming out, I believe, here next Wednesday on the 24th, and we'll see how that plays out. XLNX. Well, Cree is actually another strong semiconductor stock. Cree. You can take a look at MCHP. Let me take a look at this one. MCHP doing a little work right there, consolidating a little bit here in a range. So a lot of these semiconductor stocks are setting up like they're ready for a move. And if you guys remember when I talked about the semiconductor sector on the weekly chart, bring this over, we got a nice little triangle here. Nice little triangle on the weekly in the semiconductor stock. So I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on that sector going into next week because this thing could break out. We could have a nice move. So what are some other semiconductors to keep on watch? ALTR, Altera. Watch this one over 36. Looks pretty good. All right, I have that one on watch for sure. You could take a look at XLNX, I believe it is. Yep, XLNX right there. Another one, Xilinx. Let me put the 60-minute chart on this one and see how this one's set up. Yeah, so this one's set up pretty nice. Take a look at this one here. Gapped up, pulled back, held this 37 level here, and looks like if it gets over 37.40 and holds above that level, this one could maybe make a nice move on Friday. Now I'm not sure this one had any news on it. Well, let me see here. Looks like they had earnings on. Yeah, they had earnings on the 17th. So they had earnings on Thursday. I believe that was on what day is that? That was on Thursday after the bell. After the bell, before the bell. Let's 1 second. Oh yeah, they had it after the bell. So that stock, keep an eye on that stock as well. And then you have LLTC, another semiconductor stock that looks pretty good. LLTC. Take a look at the 60-minute chart on this bad boy. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart looks pretty good. Monthly chart looks pretty good. Finally trading above 35 here. You can see it hasn't traded above that level. Hasn't traded above that level since back here in 2011. So we got to keep an eye on these semis, guys. They are looking very interested. Take a look at the 60-minute chart of this one right here. And let me zoom this out real quick. 30 hourly. And this one looks like holding above 36.40. It is a long. So keep an eye on these semiconductor stocks again. What else here? What else do I want to go over with you guys? The financials are looking good. Goldman Sachs still looking strong, like a champ. Back above this key 130 level. Now above 140. Next target on this one is back up here towards 150. Monthly chart looks pretty good. Let's take a look at JP Morgan. JP Morgan hanging in there. Morgan Stanley holding. You had a nice little trade on Morgan Stanley holding above 22. And you could take a look at Bank of America. And Bank of America looks like it wants to go back below 11. So a lot of stuff going on, people. We'll definitely have some more stocks to give you guys tomorrow night. We usually do this Sunday night live session in the chat room Sunday night here at 9:30. But since the market's closed tomorrow for Martin Luther King Day, it's a holiday, we'll be doing it tomorrow night at 9:30. So be there. or B Square. To get to the chat room, contact me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. If you're interested in trading with our firm, you're looking for leverage, buying power, low commissions, the best rates on the street in the prop industry, prop business, I should say, you want to contact me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Cheers.